Raymond Nadeau, the author of Living Brands, and as some of you may know, I'm an avid reader of virtually any new business book that comes out, and that can include books on anthropology, economics, and anything that even remotely has to do with culture. And unfortunately, I like very few of those I read. Luckily, today I am with Dave Patnaik, who has written what I think is probably one of the most original books to come out. It'll be coming out in January of this year, and that book is called Wired to Care, which in and of itself is an unusual title. Before introducing Dave, which is spelled D-E-V, which also contributes to the pronunciation issue, I would like to also say that he is the founder and president of a rather unique business in and of itself and separate from the book called Jump. So before we get into the book, perhaps as a little bit of background, you could explain to our listeners and viewers what exactly Jump is.
Sure, Raymond. Thanks for having me. Jump is an innovation consulting firm. We're kind of a strategy firm that helps companies figure out what they ought to be doing over the next 5 or 10 years. Car companies want to know what's coming after SUVs, and cookie companies want to know how they can actually support issues of health and wellness. And we often get people with very ambiguous questions who say, I'm in 3 businesses and I need to find a 4th business. And so when those kind of ambiguous questions for growth arise, folks tend to call us.
And, you know, in writing this book, you give away a lot of very important secrets. I would imagine that if each of these secrets were packaged and sold to a company individually, they would yield a pretty hefty price tag. What prompted you to want to give away these secrets at whatever the price is, $29.95 a book?
That is a very positive review of the value of the points of the book, and I certainly appreciate that. When the publisher talked about writing a book, they wanted to write a book on innovation, and I kind of told them, well, the world doesn't need another innovation book. There's plenty of those out there. But what I wanted to really talk about was the kind of defining secret between companies that are truly innovative and folks that try to be innovative and for some reason or another don't get there. And the biggest difference that we saw in all of the companies that we've had a chance to work with over the years, the biggest difference between companies that are truly innovative is their sense of empathy. And empathy on a personal level means the ability to step outside of yourself and walk in someone else's shoes, to intuitively get a sense of what's keeping them up at night and where they're coming from. And for a company, a sense of widespread empathy is when you can get everybody in an organization to have an intuitive gut vibe for people outside of your company, outside of your building, the folks who buy your products and services, the folks who ultimately fund your 401k. And that difference was perhaps the biggest difference between folks that were truly innovative and those that weren't.
And, at the risk, and I don't mean this to sound at all negative, but we're living in an economy when so much is outsourced. It seems as though jobs have become increasingly specialized, and you see within organizations even, and within ad agencies and whatever, innovation departments. I myself was a VP of new ideas, and in some ways some of these innovation departments are making breakthroughs.